For daily Ask Reddit. r/Ask Reddit. Have you ever witnessed a wedding objection? What was it like? If you liked the video, drop a like and subscribe so you never miss a video. The most dramatic objection came from a guy seated further back in a church filled with people. As an organist, I've witnessed innumerable weddings. He said the groom was still legally married to another woman in California, that a decree of divorce had not been finalized by the judicial system. Turns out the guy was correct. Some glitch in the process prevented the divorce from becoming official, even though the groom thought it had long been resolved. Apparently, the man who spoke at the East Coast wedding ceremony was related to the groom's wife, and the guy was intent on spoiling the occasion out of some bitterness he held toward the groom. Not an objection, but I was at a wedding. The priest gets to the objections. The 3-year-old daughter was the flower girl. Walks up the aisle, pulls the bride's dress, and whispers something to her. Everyone was like, is the little girl objecting? Nope. Apparently she told her mom she didn't feel good. That was about half a second before she threw up all over her. Not an actual objection, but at the if anyone here present knows of any reason why they should not be joined moment, the photographer knocked over his tripod, smashing his camera, and shouted duck. As a photographer, this hurts me. As a non-photographer who once looked up the price of a decent DSLR and lens set out of curiosity, I want to cry. I objected at my cousin's wedding. The dude had hit her multiple times. He was and is generally a douchebag. Every time I had ever seen him he was drunk, and my cousin who I was previously very close with quit talking much and suddenly became very clumsy, falling down and hitting her face on things a lot. I had no intention of going. Turned down being in the wedding party. Turned down going to the bachelorette party. My mother and aunt begged me to go over my objections. I told them why I didn't want to go. They made a bunch of excuses and told me it was just me being jealous. Ended up going explicitly to object. The priest did the speak up or forever hold your peace. I stayed that I object because the guy's an abusing pilot. Everything went silent. One of my cousins and my dad walked me out. The marriage continued. Nobody talked to me for about a year. Right after they'd go arrested for hitting her in the face with a hand mixer because she made something wrong. Turned out I was right. Yet they are still married, even though he has been to jail twice now for beating her. Downside is my parents wouldn't talk to me for a long time. Now my mom apologized for not believing me. When the registrar was doing the whole will you marry take you bill bit there was a loud shriek of Bill. Paused the ceremony and everyone was looking around to find the source. The source was a small baby using this opportunity to speak one of their first proper words. I was told that when I was a toddler and attending my very first church service, the reverend concluded his sermon with amen, and I stood up and yelled out that's a nut. Edit I believe you're downvoting me for the wrong reason. I thought he said almond. When asked if there were any objections, right on cue, the groom's 2-year-old nephew squealed and banged his toy car on the floor a couple of times, like he was trying to make a point. The marriage didn't last. I guess he's the only one who was perceptive enough to know. I didn't go to this wedding, but my father is a pastor, and to this day claims this to be the craziest ceremony he's done. The couple wanted a redneck but not redneck wedding. They rented him a big rich cowboy suit. Think Doubt Dimmadome. They then proceeded to give him a holstered revolver with a blank in it and told him when he got to the speak now or forever hold your peace bit, the groom's brother would stand up to object and they wanted him to pull the gun and shoot him. According to my dad, it was the stupidest request he ever had, but it was fun and the crowd loved it. At a friend's wedding in 2003 he was asked if he wants to marry the bride, first name last name. Without any pause he said no. Everyone was shocked, including the bride. It was like the world stopped turning for a second and dead silence together with severe tension was in the air. He then corrected that he was there to marry. Correct first name, last name. The bride's first name has been a wrong one when he was asked, but the bride itself doesn't noticed. Some guests did notice as well. The official then checked, and it turns out he noted down the wrong first name, which would lead to them not being married if not corrected. They are happily married until today.